Sander, welcome to the show. Really excited to have you here. Man, you've had a impressive journey at companies like Fivetran, Own Backup, and now you're the VP of Sales at Productiv. And I'd really like to dive into what does it take for scaling SaaS leadership and scaling GTM teams. So let's just start off with what drew you into B2B SaaS leadership in the first place.
Yeah, it's great. I think started my pre-tech career and SaaS career in coaching, right? I playing soccer, I played collegiately, and then after that, immediately you're 21 years old and you don't know what you're going to do with your life. So you started coaching, and I started coaching youth soccer, got into collegiate soccer, and had a lot of success there and really enjoyed it, but realized that it wasn't a long-term option for me. So I transitioned into tech and into sales specifically as an SDR or outbound SDR, right? Cold call, mailing.
Yeah.
And
Smile and dial.
it really itched my competitive genes there, right?
Yeah. And I would say, do you find that there's a big overlap between the way you coach soccer and the way you would coach up and coming SDRs and BDRs?
Yeah, absolutely. From a motivation standpoint, I think it's less about skill set coaching and it's more about teaching ICs, whether it's at the SDR, BDR level or the account executive level, to find their why, right? What motivates them? Why are they waking up in the morning and doing this job? And then using that to drive intrinsic motivation, understanding that they can reach their professional and financial goals if they align their actions to their ambitions around their why.
Yeah. So just deeply connecting what they're aiming for to like the actual behaviors that it takes to get those outcomes.
Yeah. And some people, those are financial goals. Some people, they're doing it for their family. Some people care about buying a house, right? Whatever it is, we need to align our intrinsic motivation to that. And as a leader, my job is to get them to be self-aware and realize that and understand that they're not just trying to build X number of pipeline because Xander said so. It's because it helps them achieve their ultimate goal.
Yeah. This is like the classic fundamentals in just any management. How can you connect with what they really want with the aims of the company? And sometimes it takes a while to really help people find what they want. Because I don't know if you find this too, but it's not always just simply a financial outcome that people are looking for.
No, definitely not. And sometimes it's recognition. Sometimes it's proving to themselves that they could accomplish something, right? Finding meaning and purpose in the sales role, right? Just be a cog in a machine, developing their personal skill set. These are all things that are not just financial.
Yeah. How do you go about structuring the team processes at Productiv, just in terms of making sure the sales team is effective?
So at a startup, it's always different. There's no cookie cutter formula that's going to make it successful. But number one, looking at our buyers' problems and becoming experts in that. So saying, okay, we need to be consultative. We need to teach our prospects and our customers about their problems and ways in which leveraging our solution would give them a positive business outcome. And then from there, once you've defined that, it's outlining the specific steps, right? From closing a deal all the way back through validating, qualifying. We like to call it teaching here, right? Thanks versus just asking them a list of questions. Then to outreach. How are we differentiating ourselves from all the noise out there? Obviously with AI, there's a lot of good things that come with it, but I also think you've just seen more and more blurry inboxes.
Yes.
So how do you break through the neural network there and multi-thread and multi-channel? And then with that, then you look at the data, you get benchmark of what you're hoping to attain from a leadership standpoint, according to your plan, and then working backwards to say, how do we need to convert from stage 0 to stage 1? And what do we need to do to generate enough stage 0s to convert at that rate to stage 1? And from there, move it forward in the sales process to a close. And where are we in accordance with benchmarking of industry standards? And how can we keep driving and iterating to get higher up?
Makes sense. And what would you say your process is right now for evaluating and optimizing your own sales tech stack?
Yeah, so that's definitely one. I think a good part of any leader is always knowing what's out there, right? So as much as I might go into a demonstration where I say, I don't really think we need this, or I don't care about it. It's really important to be educated on what the options are out there, especially with the rapid evolution of AI, both in tools we already have and tools that we might be missing out on. It can be a pretty big time suck, but at the same time, I think it's important because you really can't have the problem and then start looking. You should know the answers to the problem and understand, oh, yes, I remember I looked at a solution like this. Let's look at them and 3 competitors to build a project around it and bring one on in the next quarter, right? Evaluating, I think, is something you should just be constantly doing. It shouldn't be something that's reactionary to, we have a problem, we need to go get X kind of tool to fix it.
Yeah. So you're always spending some amount of your efforts to just seeing like, how can I make my reps more effective? What technology would actually help? What's the landscape
Correct.
look like?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then there's the nice to haves. There's the things that are critical, addressing a problem that arises tomorrow. And then there's things that are table stakes that you need in the tech stack, right?
And how would you balance just drive immediate results versus building a long-term sales capacity?
Yeah, that's the joy of sales, right?
Yeah.
You want to build for the long term and scalability and consistency, but then you also have a number assigned to you, right? You have a quota, whether you're a leader, whether you're an IC, and there's a fine balance between making sure we keep business continuity and show growth, and also saying, let's not sacrifice what we care about, what our vision is long term. So there are times when you say, we could pursue this large deal and maybe even likely win it. Best interest of our business, our long-term strategy, and even our customer that potentially is interested in us, right? Which is
Yeah.
a good thing to say as a sales leader, to turn down a deal, but can
Not
we?
all revenue is good revenue.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And do you guys also do solutions at Productive, or is it mainly just the software?
When you say solutions, you mean like professional services?
Yeah. Like professional services to go along with the main
Yeah,
software.
I think that's something that a lot of companies do, right? Whether it's a consulting partner or a reseller, or they sell their own internal services. For us, we wanted to reframe that problem and say that's something that should be expected with us. We want to build a customer success organization around that's included with your subscription. And we don't want that customer success manager to be effectively a renewals manager that reaches out to you 100
Yeah.
days in advance of your renewal and say, are you renewing? We want them to business partner to help optimize cost, SaaS usage, opportunities across your entire stack. We want them to be a business partner in making sure you're getting the most value and return on investment on Productiv. So that includes QBRs, that includes strategic mapping of business goals and initiatives.
I see. So for your model, it's not like an add-on package. It's that you're saying that you want to really ensure that you're getting the outcome that you wanted. It's not just using the software yourself, but you have a team of experts on the Productive side. They're going to help with the analysis, make sure you're asking the right questions.
Correct. Like our product does some of that, but then it's about knowing where to go in the product and knowing when to look for it and having a partner in Productiv. Sean says this all the time, and I'm quite aligned with it. I don't really like to say customer. I like to say partner. So having someone to partner with to say, hey, I was looking at your instance ahead of our quarterly review. I noticed that you have 7 project management tools and only 3 of them are optimized above 75% usage. There's a good opportunity for you to consolidate tools, save some money, and optimize your tech stack internally so that it drives consistency.
Makes sense. And when I think of partner, the thing that comes to mind is always somebody who knows better questions than you to ask. Those are the best partners. You come with something basic and they have maybe a better perspective. Can you share some examples, if you have any, that are like, what's like a typical question where actually a company might not see that there's a larger question they could be asking in terms of SaaS usage?
Yeah, we run through a lot of RFPs here, right? So we've set aside money. We're going to do a project on this. Here's our list of requirements. But a lot of times those customers will say, teach us something. We don't really know what we should be looking for, specifically in the SaaS management lifecycle space. This has evolved from spend management. Is it more IT ops? Is it procurement and finance? Is it all of those things? So it's on us to educate them. What we do internally is we've spoken to hundreds of companies, whether they're our customers or not. But what we do is we say, here's the questions you should be asking. We really like your questions. Here's some stuff you're missing, right? Let's educate you on how you should be thinking about a SaaS management solution as a life cycle and not a point solution to automate or solve one problem. The goal of Productiv is when you're evaluating a vendor, you're intaking it on IT or procurement, you're managing it during the course of the term of the contract. And when you're renewing it, how can we optimize that process, give you visibility and understanding into the data so you can make good business decisions? I'm less concerned with automating some manual removal of a license with one of our customers. And I'm more concerned with saying, hey, this data is accurate, it's granular, and allows you to make an effective business decision that's going to save you money and drive your company forward, allowing you to focus on more mission critical items.
Excellent. What trends are you seeing right now in how enterprises are evaluating SaaS tools for purchase?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is, and this isn't unique to Productiv, but it's justifying ROI, right? We're talking to middle to senior leadership at these enterprise corporations, and they like the tool, they want it. And it's okay, we need to get buy-in from a CFO, right? And asking for, okay, what does ROI look like? When we can generate ROI, we can show potential savings, but based on some pretty basic inputs. But really what they're looking for is to see it. There's been a lot of trust broken, especially in management where, okay, we really liked everything, we bought it, or maybe it was a competitor of ours, the data wasn't right, or it wasn't pulling correctly.
It didn't actually work in the way they were expecting.
I think the big thing for us is like showing ROI by either getting connected or focusing on an upcoming renewal, or having the trust from our expertise to just move forward and allowing us to implement without going through that process, which typically means there's a pretty good internal sale from one of our customers.
And are you seeing that? How are you seeing AI impact the sales process right now?
Yeah, AI internally, right? Different components of different vendors that we have right away, right? We're trying things out. Maybe they're already included. It's something that I think AI is not meant to replace roles, but it will impact roles and make things better, right? I think if you're behind the times on AI in whatever facet or part of the sales process you touch, I think you're doing yourself a major disservice. And then likewise, one of the things that Productiv does is it helps identify AI. You have our typical customer has 100 to 300 applications in their environment. And I would say probably 90% of these have added AI functionality.
Yeah, everybody stacked it in somehow. Yeah.
And you need to understand, is that safe? Number one, is there risk here? And then number two, is there opportunity? Is this business-led IT that we can leverage and then understand and measure, and then we can make it a consistent part of our process, right?
Makes sense. This has been fantastic, Xander. And before we wrap up, I'm curious, like, what excites you the most about the future of SaaS sales and where Productiv is headed?
With the future of SaaS sales, I think you saw this giant boom during COVID. Everyone needed to buy technology because we were all remote. Zoom had a nice field day right during that period. And now you've seen that gold rush slow down a little bit. So I think selling it become essential and even more emphasized, right? People buy from people at the end of the day. So showing that you have credibility, you're an expert, and that you're a customer-centric seller, and you want to build recurring impact with that company long-term, not just close a deal, be transactional. And if you genuinely believe that and can help your partner and a customer prove that out, that's incredible. And that's where I think with the rapid expanse of AI in the future, that's what's going to separate these successful organizations from the non-successful organizations. As far as Productiv goes, not to make it a talk about AI, but we are leaning in heavily to AI, and we want to make our AI meaningful. As AI to some degree, it seems, right? But we actually want to really think about our customer problems and how we're leveraging these emerging technologies to be innovative and think differently than a lot of the competitors that we go against, and say, how can we change the way people view the SaaS management lifecycle and create a central command center for that CIO?
Makes sense. Xander, thanks so much.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. Thanks for having me on.